Everybody, welcome back to MUSE TV. We have an awesome guest today. One of my favorite shows growing up, America's Most Wanted, is back, and we have the host of America's Most Wanted, Elizabeth Vargas. How is everything today?
It's great. Now that I'm talking to you, it's even better.
Oh, that's great to hear. What is it like? Because this show is synonymous with this culture.
Yeah,
I remember watching
it's
it
a
when I was
classic.
younger.
Yeah, you watched it. I watched it. You know, people grew up watching it. It's an iconic show.
Yeah.
It was on the air for 25 years on Fox, and they when they went off the air 10 years ago, of course, you know, there's been a huge explosion in technology in that intervening 10 years. So what we can do now with technology is huge. But, you know, it's the one show out there. We know there's a huge appetite for true crime in this country. It's the one show out there in true crime that offers viewers the chance to rewrite the ending, you know, to change the ending,
Mhm.
to do something to bring justice for the victims of these crimes. So it's really exciting to be working on it.
Oh, that's cool. And to take the reins from John Walsh, who started this a long time ago, what does it feel like to jump in his shoes now and to be the host?
Oh, I feel really proud actually. I just spoke to John a couple days ago. I've known him for years. I interviewed him a couple times when I was hosting Good Morning America on ABC, and he was doing the show. So, but it's, you know, he's leaves behind an enormous legacy and big shoes to fill. He's so thrilled that I'm doing it, and you know, wished us all the luck in the world. But it's great. It's really I'm honored to pick up the torch, so to speak.
Yeah. And what the show has done, 1,100 criminals have been captured. Uh,
1,186.
1,186. Wow, that's what makes this show remarkable. And 17 FBI's most wanted have been, unless
Yeah.
that number has changed already after the first episode. But that is what is so cool about this, because how many people have been, it's helped the police, it helped to get criminals off the streets. And how important is that to be able to come into this role and be able to do it, especially with new technology? Social media wasn't around when the show first started. How is social media implemented into this new type of America's Most Wanted?
Well, think about it. Today, everybody's walking around, you know, with an HD camera in their
Mhm.
pocket in the form of their phone. They can instantly access, you know, all sorts of social media platforms, every single one. They can instantly send photos, send videos, text, call. You know, a lot of that wasn't around when the show was first on the air. So, just in that respect alone, we are interconnected in a way that we weren't before. And we can instantly, you know, like if you saw somebody and you thought, wait a second, did I see him on America's Most Wanted? You can go onto your phone and go to our website, pull up the images to check while you're standing in line, maybe right behind that guy.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's amazing. There's also the technology that we're using in the studio with our 3D avatars, our fugitive tracker, our augmented reality with crime scenes. I mean, what we can do now in the studios is absolutely incredible. And the avatars are great because I'm standing next to them, and we've used FBI age progression technology. So this is what we think they look like today. And, you know, you can see tall or small compared to me. I can point out, for example, on one of our fugitives in our episode next week, she has a very distinctive rose tattoo from her elbow all the way up to her shoulder on her left arm. It would be impossible to miss. It's colorful, it's big, and difficult to cover up unless she's going to live in turtlenecks around the clock. You know what I mean? This is the kind of thing, if you saw a person with this tattoo, you should call the police immediately.
Yeah.
So it's amazing what we can do to help viewers even better recognize these fugitives.
And the avatars are so well done. Like, it's like you could literally, you showed, I saw a couple clips, and I was just like, see the picture, and then you see the avatar, and I'm just like, wow, this is well done. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way you can say, oh, there's a little discrepancy in it. It's pretty spot on.
A lot of viewers were tweeting me on Monday night saying, I don't know if I'd be able to go to sleep tonight after seeing you stand next to a convicted killer. You know, doesn't that freak you out? So, yeah, listen, it's a great, it all is with a goal in mind. And that goal in mind is to find these fugitives and bring justice to these crime victims, because those are the people who are the most important in this show. And we have, you know, in both our first two episodes, we have those crime victims in the studio with me, because I think it's really important to keep the focus on them. You know, they have gone through the most horrific thing in the world, whatever the crime may be. And for you, the viewer, to be able to help them find justice and resolution to this nightmarish chapter in their life, I think is a powerful thing to offer our viewers.
Yeah. And how does journalism help you in this role as the host? Because that's one thing I'm curious about. Because you have a great career in journalism, an amazing career in the business. How do you think your journalism skills help you in this hosting role?
Basically, journalists are all storytellers. I mean, that's what we do. You know, it might be a story about the budget, the United, or it might be a story about a war,
Mhm.
or it might be a story about baby trafficking. I went to the jungles of Cambodia to do a story on baby trafficking, or gender side. I went to the slums of India to do a story on that. We're basically, it's all telling a story. And that's what we're doing in America's Most Wanted. We're telling these individual stories of these crimes, what happened, who was impacted, um, and then asking the viewers to help write the end of that story, which is there can finally be a trial, or somebody who escaped from prison can finally be brought back to justice and put back behind bars, and the streets made safer. Somebody else might not suffer that nightmarish story because you called in, because you recognize that fugitive.
Yeah. And one question I want to ask before we end this is the fact that we've seen a lot of things happen, especially yesterday in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Uh, how, I think that's why I think America's Most Wanted is needed right now. Do you feel like you're going to have a lot more of an impact, especially with everything that's been happening over the last year, 4 years actually? To be honest.
I think that the fugitives we're looking for in this show, first of all, are people who have already been convicted or are, for very good reasons, suspected
Mhm.
of committing very serious crimes. We are not talking about police officers pulling over black men or brown men
Mhm.
whose taillights might be out.
Yeah.
This is a different show. I feel very strongly about what's been going on in this country in the last few years with people of color and issues of social justice. Um, and I think you will see that many of our fugitives are people, are white people. I think most of them are white, and many of our FBI agents and US Marshals are people of color. I think that television can play a powerful role, whether it's television news or television programming, in helping shift the oil tanker that we need to shift when it comes to cultural perceptions in this country of the way we see Black people and brown people and Asian people. Um, a lot of times it's out of fear. I mean, I think that we have had a lot of dialogue in this country around the pandemic and the coronavirus that has fed fear or resentment that is ill founded and wrong against the Asian community. And perhaps that's why we saw what we saw in Atlanta. But it's important to get past that. It's important to see people of color in leadership roles and in upstanding roles and and in the roles of people who are doing something to try and change society for the better. And I'm happy to play a role in that. I'm happy that as a Latina, I can be hosting a show like this, and that all throughout my career, in all 30 years of my career, I have been, a Latinx face on first local TV and then network TV, showing our audience of every color and every race that we belong in all offices, in all anchor desks, in all corridors of power.
Mhm. And I agree with you on that. And that's a great way to end our interview. But I could only say that people like yourself in the Latino community who became journalists are what inspired me and others to become a part of this and to
Thank
show that we
you.
belong.
And
And
the thing is, you'll pay it forward.
yeah,
You're now going to inspire other kids.
that's we
And
have
that's what's
52.
Yeah.
52 of our college students have gotten jobs in the newsroom. One just got a local Emmy in Bakersfield. So we're going
Yay.
to do some good things here. So
I'm so glad.
that's why your inspiration really helps everybody. It's in our community and others. But Thank you so much for talking with us. Really appreciate it. And don't forget to watch America's Most Wanted Monday nights. You don't want to miss it.